The gray dawn of April, 1945 draped Oberruchen in a shroud of fear, the ruined chapel's bell silent, smoke curling from shattered stone, as mothers huddled with children pressed tight against trembling chests, whispers of terror spilling from their lips after months of hunger. Rumors and relentless propaganda warning that the approaching Americans would snatch their children or worse. And among them, Marta Keller knelt, her daughters clinging to her skirts, eyes wide with disbelief, as the low rumble of distant engines grew into the unmistakable sound of armored vehicles rolling over broken roads, sun glinting off metal, as American soldiers appeared over the ridge, rifles lowered but ready, faces drawn with cautious humanity rather than malice. And Private Henry Lawson, barely 22, stepped forward, scanning hollow-cheeked villagers whose fear was the true enemy, while Elsa Brown, holding her malnourished toddler, trembled toward him, offering the child as if a fragile plea could prevent disaster. And the Americans, bewildered by the desperation yet undeterred, knelt, raised hands, and murmured reassurances that transcended language, slowly distributing water, blankets, and rations, gestures of kindness that chipped away at the iron grip of terror. While Corporal Sam Rivers and Lieutenant Harris assessed the village, improvising a triage and aid station inside the battered schoolhouse. Debris cleared, desks pressed into makeshift beds, and as rifle shots cracked faintly from the surrounding forest, signaling that danger still lurked, Lawson tended feverish children and fainting mothers with quiet resolve, sharing the last sips of water and spreading warmth through touch and calm words, the villagers' terror gradually shifting from the soldiers to the shadowed woods beyond. Yet, even as night pressed in, bringing threats of deserters and unseen predators, Harris made the fateful decision to hold the line, balancing the impossible demands of survival, duty, and compassion. And through the long hours of darkness, lantern light flickering over tired faces, mothers whispered lullabies, children huddled close, and Marta felt for the first time in months a fragile pulse of hope, seeing the Americans not as invaders but as shields against chaos. And when dawn arrived, a new procession of displaced families stumbled toward the square, hollow-eyed and trembling, yet welcomed into the careful order established by the soldiers. Civil affairs finally arriving with rations, tents, and clean water, distributing food and blankets while recording names and medical needs. And amidst the flurry of aid, Marta offered a bowl of steaming stew to Lawson, who accepted with quiet humility, and she watched as stability, however tentative, settled over Oberruchen, like a soft dusting. Mothers and children beginning to breathe, to trust, the soldiers maintaining perimeter vigilance against the unseen dangers of the forest. And in these fleeting hours, the village understood that survival was possible not through force or victory, but through the unexpected humanity of strangers, the delicate intertwining of courage, kindness, and steadfast protection. And as the sun slipped behind the ridges, casting long shadows over the battered roofs and the weary faces of the villagers, Marta held her daughters close, feeling a tentative peace seep into her bones, knowing that, though the war still raged beyond the borders, within the schoolhouse and square of Oberruchen, hope had taken root, fragile yet undeniable, a quiet reckoning that life, even amid ruin and terror, could be preserved through the steadfast hands of those who chose to protect rather than destroy. And as lanterns flickered into the evening and distant shots echoed faintly through the trees, the villagers, weary, hungry, and scarred, understood that they were no longer alone, that the fragile beginning of safety had arrived. And in that moment, amidst shadows, gunfire, and lingering fear, the first real sense of human compassion and enduring hope in months threaded itself through the hearts of Oberushen's people. A promise that survival and kindness could coexist even in the final, chaotic days of war. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.